Taraweeh Truffles. I want you to picture the pain of a parent that loses a child. Okay? Now imagine that they've lost their child. There is a pain that is more intense than that, and that is the pain of a believing parent whose child doesn't worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a child who rejects the worship of Allah. Which brings us to today's verse, the story of Nuh alayhi salam with his son. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran,
وَهِيَ تَجْرِي بِهِمْ فِي مَوْجٍ كَالْجِبَالِ وَنَادَى نُوحٌ ابْنَهُ وكان في معزل يا بني اركب معنا ولا تكن مع الكافرين قال سآوي إلى جبل يعصمني من الماء قال لا عاصم اليوم من أمر الله إلا من رحم وحال بينهما الموج فكان من المغرقين.
Nuh alayhi salam gathered together all these animals and he built the ark, and then the flood waters came pouring down, and Nuh alayhi salam called to his son to get on the boat, to be with the believers, to follow the ark that had the mercy of Allah on it. But Nuh alayhi salam's son rejected that. He said to his father that I'm just going to find a mountain that the rainwater can't reach. And Nuh alayhi salam said to him, لا عاصم اليوم من أمر الله إلا من رحم. And Nuh alayhi salam said to him, لا عاصم اليوم من أمر الله إلا من رحم. That there's nothing that can protect you today from the decree of Allah except those whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mercy on. And then the wave came between them, and Nuh's son was one of those who were drowned. I need you to understand something. There is something to be said about the basics, about the ABCs. When somebody goes to school and they learn the ABCs, or you go to a karate class and you learn the basics of, hand chops and kicks, wherever you go, you have to learn the basics. Now, when it comes to our youth or anybody at whatever age, whenever they're coming back to the deen, sometimes they get thrown into the deep waters. They get thrown into the deep waters without learning the basics, without somebody teaching them the basics, or without a proper, creatively innovative way for those basics to be ingrained in our youth or these newcomers again and again and again. Every so often, or whenever somebody's ready to learn it, it needs to start again fresh from the beginning. And just a footnote right here, that if you're ever looking for a dawah project that you want to do, you want to help people, try to find creatively innovative ways to teach the basics of Islam in a way that can recur again and again and again for whoever needs and wants to learn it. Now, this is the story of Nuh alayhi salam and his son, but if you look in the Quran, you'll also find that the opposite can be true in some situations. A son trying to give da'wah to his father, like the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam and his father who was an idol worshipper. Ibrahim alayhi salam gave him da'wah, tried calling him to Allah, tried to protect him from worshipping shaitan. But you'll see Ibrahim's father rejected him, rejected not only the message of Islam, but also even rejected his son Ibrahim and kicked him out of the home. So whatever situation we're in, whether we're the younger ones trying to help the older, or we're older ones trying to help the younger, whatever situation we're in, we have to help each other learn and understand the basics and take it to heart. And this needs to happen recurringly again and again and again for every subsequent generation or coming of age of people that come into our communities.